Hey sis, let me paint the picture that so many of us know too well. It's 11:47 p.m. The dishes are done, the laundry is folded, but your brain is still racing. You're sitting at the kitchen table with your laptop open, staring at a Google sheet titled, "Can I actually quit my job in 2026?" Your cursor is blinking on the daycare line. $1,428 this month. Gas for the commute, $312. Work clothes you bought because your boss made a passive comment about looking professional, another $187. And that $68,000 salary you fought so hard for, after taxes, after everything, it feels like you're bringing home pennies while missing every single bedtime story. You look at your toddler's drawing on the fridge, the one with the stick figure family where mommy is just a tiny blob in the corner because she's at work, and your chest tightens. You whisper to yourself, if I stay home, we'll be broke, but if I keep going like this, I'm missing my baby's entire childhood. Sound painfully familiar? Yeah. That exact moment is where millions of moms are living right now in 2026. And today, we're not going to sugarcoat it with Pinterest quotes. We're doing the real, ugly, honest math, the kind that actually changes families. My name is Barbie, and I spend way too much time thinking about the real numbers behind family money decisions, especially the ones no one wants to talk about out loud because it feels too scary or too ungrateful. If you're a working mom who's been lying awake wondering whether staying home is only for rich families, or if you're already a stay-at-home mom quietly panicking that you're ruining your family's future, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. And if this video helps you even a little, smash that thumbs up. We're in this together. Look, here's the thing. Society has sold us this fairy tale story. Being a stay-at-home mom is a luxury you can only afford if your husband makes six figures, you live in a paid-off house, and you never want new shoes again. The financial gurus say just budget better. The Pinterest moms say it's a privilege, not a right. And the corporate world whispers, you'll never get that salary back. But the 2026 math is way more brutal and way more surprising than any of those narratives. I spent hours pulling the latest data from LendingTree's 2026 Family Finance Report, Smart Assets Cost of Living Calculators, the MIT Living Wage Calculator updated for 2026 inflation, the Economic Policy Institute, and Care.com's annual daycare survey. What I found shocked even me, and I've been running these numbers for years. In a shocking number of cases, that second income, after taxes, daycare, commuting, work clothes, and the exhaustion tax, is basically zero. Or worse, it's quietly negative. And the psychological cost? That's the part no one puts in the spreadsheet. Here's what most people don't realize. For millions of families right now, keeping mom in the workforce is actually costing them money, real money, while stealing time they can never get back. But flipping to stay at home isn't automatically free either. The truth is somewhere in the messy middle. And today, I'm going to walk you through every single dollar so you can decide for your own family. Let's make this concrete with a super realistic middle-class family. We'll call them the Thompsons because they could be any of us. Mom, you, in this story, makes $68,000 gross as a marketing coordinator. Dad makes $82,000 in sales. Combined household income before taxes, $150,000. On paper, that sounds comfortable, right? Enough for a decent house, maybe a vacation, and some savings. Now, let's subtract the real 2026 costs of both parents working full-time. Federal and state taxes plus FICA, roughly $31,800 gone. Smart Asset 2026 tax calculator for a married couple with one child. Daycare for one toddler, the national average is now $1,428 per month. That's $17,136 a year, according to Care.com's 2026 report. In high-cost cities like New York or San Francisco, it's pushing $24,000 to $28,000. We'll use the middle number for this example. Mom's commute, work clothes, lunches out, coffee runs, and dry cleaning, easily $5,200 a year. I'm not even counting the $400 she spent on a professional blazer she wore twice. The exhaustion tax, because you're both drained, you order DoorDash twice a week, buy pre-cut veggies, and pay for convenience cleaning services. Another $3,600. Add in the hidden stuff, higher health insurance premiums because you're both on the employer plan instead of one family plan, extra car maintenance from two commuters, and the $1,200 you spent on back-to-work babysitters for meetings. Net contribution from mom's entire job after all those costs? About $9,800 a year. That's it, $9,800. Now let's run the numbers if she stays home. You immediately save the full $17,136 in daycare. You save the $5,200 in work expenses. You cut the exhaustion tax by cooking from scratch, meal prepping on slower days, and shopping smarter. Realistic savings of $6,800 to $8,400, according to the latest Bureau of Labor Statistics consumer expenditure data. Suddenly, the family is living on Dad's $82,000 gross, about $61,000 net after taxes, instead of $150,000 gross. But they're actually keeping thousands more in their pockets every year. Smart Assets 2026 analysis, using MIT living wage data, shows that in the average U.S. state, one parent needs to earn roughly $86,000 to $94,000 for the other to stay home with one child and still cover housing, food, transportation, and modest savings. In lower-cost states like West Virginia or Ohio, it drops to $68,000 to $72,000. In California or New York, it's $108,000 plus. But here's the kicker most families miss. The median working mom's net contribution after all those hidden costs is often under that break-even line. This is where it gets really interesting, and honestly, a little infuriating. The motherhood penalty is not a myth. New 2026 data from the Economic Policy Institute shows that 5 years after her first child, the average mom's earnings have dropped 42%, not because she's suddenly less ambitious, but because the system is literally designed to punish any time away from the office. Promotions slow down, raises get smaller, the reliability question hangs over every meeting. So when people say you'll never get that salary back, they're technically right if you try to re-enter full-time later. But here's the flip side nobody says out loud. If your second income is only netting you $8K to $12K after daycare and exhaustion, you're trading irreplaceable years with your babies for what amounts to minimum wage, with extra anxiety and 0 sick days for your kids' fevers. I ran a second scenario for families with 2 kids under 5. Daycare jumps to $32,000 to $38,000 a year. Mom's net contribution? Negative $4,200, meaning the family is actually losing money by having her work. And this isn't just theory. LendingTree's 2026 survey of 8,400 working parents found that 31% of moms who ran their own numbers discovered their job was costing the household money once all factors were included. Yet most of them kept going because of the fear we're about to talk about. Now let's talk about the part the spreadsheets don't show, the psychology of this decision. I hear it in every single DM I get. Barbie, if I stay home, I'm scared I'll lose myself, or become financially dependent, or my husband will start to resent me, or I'll feel like a failure for not contributing. Here's what most people don't realize. The biggest financial mistake isn't choosing to stay home. It's pretending that the emotional labor, mental load, and invisible work of being the default parent has $0 value. One detailed 2026 breakdown by the Center for American Progress put the replacement cost of a stay-at-home mom at over $87,000 a year. That's daycare savings plus professional chef, chauffeur, nurse, tutor, and full-time emotional regulator. Yet society still calls it not working. The real trap is identity. A lot of us were raised to tie our entire worth to a paycheck and a title. So when that direct deposit stops, the brain freaks out. You start questioning every single Target run. You feel guilty asking for money for new leggings, even though you just saved the family $18,000 this year. That shame spiral is expensive. It leads to secret stress spending, emotional eating, or overcompensating by buying the kids way too many toys just to feel productive. I've lived a version of this. When I first cut back my hours after my second baby, I felt this weird panic every time the grocery bill came in. My brain kept whispering, "You're not earning anymore. You don't get to decide." It took months of seeing the actual numbers, the savings, the calmer mornings, the fact that my kids finally stopped calling the babysitter mama before the guilt started to fade. The psychological shift is real, and it's powerful. Studies from Princeton in 2025, updated 2026, show that chronic financial stress literally lowers your effective IQ by up to 13 points, the same as losing a full night of sleep. When you remove the constant, "how are we going to afford daycare next month" noise, your brain gets bandwidth back for creativity, patience with your kids, and even better money decisions. Now, you might be thinking, but Barbie, what if something happens to my partner? What about my own retirement? What if we get divorced? What if I hate being home? Totally valid fears. Let's tackle them one by one with the actual 2026 math. Objection number 1. What if my husband loses his job or gets sick? The smart answer: you build a bigger emergency fund before you make the leap. 9 to 12 months of expenses instead of the usual 3 to 6 months. That's the rule I give every mom I coach. And you keep one skill warm. Even 5 to 10 hours a week of freelance keeps your resume alive and gives you my money in the bank. Objection number 2. Retirement. Yes, you lose your own 401k match, but in 2026, you can still contribute up to $7,000 to a spousal IRA. And if your partner maxes his 401k and gets the full employer match, that money is still family money. Over 20 years, that compounds the same whether the account is in his name or yours. Objection number 3. Divorce. The data here is brutal, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Women who were stay-at-home moms for 5 or more years often face a 20 to 30% permanent lifetime earnings hit. So the move is simple. Protect yourself legally and financially from day one. Have a post-nup or at least a clear financial agreement. Keep a separate freedom fund in your name only. And keep one income stream that is 100% yours, even if it's small. Objection number 4. I'll hate being home. I need adult conversation. Then don't go all in. The math still works for part-time, hybrid, or a micro-business. My friend Sarah did exactly that. She made $72K as a full-time marketing manager. Daycare for 2 kids was $28,400. After everything, she netted $9,800. She quit, started a small Etsy shop selling customizable family planners during nap time, and now clears $21,000 a year on her own schedule. Their household budget is tighter on paper, but her mental health score went from a 4 to a 9, and her kids actually know her. Let's zoom out. Scenario A, both parents keep working for the next 5 years. Combined net, after all costs, roughly $98,000 a year. But mom misses 1,250 plus hours with her kids, the family pays 85,000 plus dollars in daycare, and burnout leads to higher medical bills and therapy. Scenario B, mom stays home. Household net $61,000 to $64,000 the first year. But over 5 years, they save $92,000 in daycare and work expenses, eat healthier, reduce stress spending, and mom's side project grows to $18K to $25K. By year 5, the family is often ahead financially and emotionally. Run it out 10 years and the gap widens. The working mom family has more in retirement accounts on paper, but the stay-at-home family has lower debt, stronger relationships, and kids who statistically do better in school and mental health, per 2026 longitudinal studies from the Institute for Family Studies. So what should you actually do tonight? Here's your exact game plan. Step 1. Run your exact numbers this week. Open a free Smart Asset Calculator or the MIT Living Wage tool. Plug in your city, your 2 salaries, real daycare quotes from 3 local providers, every single work expense, and your current spending. Be brutally honest, no rounding down. Step 2, calculate your true break-even number. What does your job net the family after every single cost? If it's under $15K to $20K, the math is waving a red flag. Step 3, build the bridge fund while you're still working. Start cutting to convenience tax now. Cook 1 extra meal a week, cancel 3 subscriptions you don't use, automate $200 to $400 a month into a high-yield freedom fund earmarked only for the transition. Step 4, protect your future self. Open that spousal IRA this month. Max it if you can. Keep your LinkedIn warm and your top skill sharp. Step 5, have the money conversation with your partner, not as I want to quit, but as here's what the actual 2026 numbers show for our family. Bring the spreadsheet. Talk about the psychological wins too. Step 6, test the waters. Before you fully quit, try 1 month of part-time or a micro side hustle that fits nap time. See how the numbers and your heart feel. Step 7, reframe the guilt every single day. Staying home isn't failing feminism or wasting your degree. It's choosing your family's unique math over society's outdated script. Step 8, track the wins monthly. Every time you save on daycare or cook instead of ordering out, write it down. Watching that number grow is better than any paycheck. Step 9, build your village. Join a local moms group or online community where other women are doing the same math. You are not alone. Step 10, give yourself permission to change your mind later. The beauty of knowing the real numbers is that you can always adjust. Here's the truth that hit me hardest when I ran all these numbers for the 100th time. In 2026, the families who are actually winning aren't the ones with the highest combined income on paper. They're the ones brave enough to stop playing the game by someone else's rules and start asking, what does our family actually need to thrive, not just survive? Whether you decide to stay home full-time, go part-time, keep grinding, or build a business from the kitchen table, the power is in knowing the real math instead of the Pinterest myth or the corporate pressure. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are finally seeing the board clearly, and that changes everything. You've got this, Mama. You are the CEO of your family's future, and the numbers are finally on your side. I'll see you in the next one. Love you.